Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be men and women having great relationships with 3% Man book. I've got it's Friday, so I got two success stories. One's from a woman, one's from a guy. This particular woman was with a guy she'd been dating. She's thinking, hey, he's going to become my husband. And then this guy goes off to holiday. And then like 3 weeks later, he decides he's going to marry some other woman. And apparently, I guess he was carrying on a relationship with two women when he decided that. And she was the odd woman out. So obviously, that's pretty traumatic to go through. You think you're going to spend your life with somebody. And then literally they go away for 3 weeks. And oh, by the way, they're marrying somebody else. That sounds like fun. So she ended up coming across my work, and she did a bunch of therapy, did a lot of working on herself, learned the book. Even though the book is written for men, she used it to learn how a 3% woman would show up with her 3% man. And so she attracted a great guy into her life, and they're very happy. And she obviously attributes that to what she's learned in addition to the help she got with therapy. But she did the work on herself. That's the important thing. She filled in her knowledge gap. She's very happy. The second guy said he was obese, out of shape, unhappy, always a loser with women. Started exercising, taking care of himself, and he's doing really great now. And the important thing is this particular dude's read, I think he says 16 times he's read the book, so he knows it well. And as I say all the time, guys that do real well, girls that do real well, read the book to 10 to 15 times. I see it in the emails, and I see it especially in my phone sessions when I talk to guys like, yeah, I've been following you for 5 years, and I've been through the book once or twice. And then they tell me the things they're doing. I was like, man, these are obvious things that are covered in the book that you're making mistakes. Oh, yeah, but I don't have time for that. Or I'll deal with some I had a high-income, high-net-worth guy I was talking to recently. Dudes were tens of millions of dollars. And, of course, he's so smart and he's so successful and he's so knowledgeable and so sophisticated. He understands human behavior. Same thing with the girl he's dating he's having all kinds of trouble with. They're so sophisticated and they're just beyond having to read a little book like me, from me. So I'm like, this is why you're struggling, dude. Guy's been following me for years, didn't want to read the book because he was arrogant and full of himself, and yet his personal life is a train wreck because of it, because of his own arrogance, as pride comes before the fall, as they say. If you're struggling in your personal life, obviously you got a knowledge gap and you got to fill it in. There's no shortcuts to success. Doesn't matter if you make $20 an hour or you make $20 million a year. You still got to fill in the knowledge gap. I see the same mistakes. Doesn't matter the income, the net worth. It's guys make the same mistakes. It's just the guys that are real successful in business are kind of arrogant and full of themselves, and they think they know it all. And then, obviously, when I do a phone session, then they get a harsh dose of reality, because I'm not here to blow sunshine up anybody's ass, because that doesn't serve anybody. You got to be real with people. You got to tell them like it is, even when they don't want to hear it. So, with that said, let's go. Oh, there was a recent video that we published. It's done real well about women who say they want to be chased by guys, that I did with Jade and Erica. And it was kind of contentious at times. You could tell the feminism has had an effect on their thinking and the way they look at things. So that was a fun video. It's on Instagram and it's also on YouTube. So you guys should check that out. I'm sure you'll be entertained. So let's go through the first email. Since we got a guy and a girl here, we're going to ladies first. Let's see how things worked out in her life. She says, hi, Corey. I just wanted to share my story. I'm a 27-year-old female living in Europe. I had a bad breakup over 2.5 years ago. And the man I thought I was in a relationship with went for a holiday for 3 weeks and got married to someone else while being away. Well, that wasn't very nice. Can you imagine that? You think you're in a relationship. Hey, I'm probably going to marry this person. They go away and come back. Hey, guess what? I had a great vacation, but guess what? I got a wife now. And it's not you. Phew, brutal. She says, I really loved him, and I thought one day he'd be my husband. He never told me that he was engaged to someone else when we were in a relationship together. So he was a liar and a cheater. Good riddance, because he'll cheat on his wife at some point. So he's her problem now. Good riddance. Instead, he was talking to me about our future and how we can progress our relationship. Yeah, that dude was obvious a ratchet. So you dodged a bullet there, girl. Good for you. Needless to say, that was a very bad breakup where I had to do a lot of healing and self-discovery. In this process, I have discovered your work. Your work teaches that you have to take accountability for what you did wrong and improve it to become a better version of yourself. This is exactly what I did. It was hard, no doubt about it. Therapy, frequent visits to the doctor's office, but I certainly persisted. Now I'm earning triple the salary I was making before. I'm studying for a master's degree, and I have a normal and loving relationship. We met online. The first conversation was initiated by him. Later, I texted him first, and he responded very happily. He is an extremely successful businessman who works very hard in his career and definitely takes care of himself. She sent pictures. The dude's fit and in shape, and he seems happy with her. They look happy in pictures. He later told me that he wanted me to reach out so he knows that I like him. Without your guidance, I wouldn't have known what to do back then. Forward to a year and a half of us being together, and I'm always reaching out to him first, but I don't mind this. Well, it's natural. Women are naturally designed and created to seek a man's attention. And when a woman's in love and he makes her feel safe and comfortable, she wants his attention all the fucking time. All the time. Stuck on you like a sucker fish. And if your girl ain't stuck on you like a sucker fish, you should be reading and applying what's in here. Assuming you got a normal, healthy woman and not a Fruit Loop. She has to be normal for it to work. If she's not normal, then time to dip out. He makes me feel very special when I do get in touch, which is all I really need. So in other words, when she does reach out, he's not like, oh, fuck, what do you want? He's like, babe, it's so good to hear your voice again. I want to sleep on a bed made of your voice. He does exactly what you teach in the book. And your book has taught me how to improve myself and find a successful and loving man that could have a long-term relationship with and maybe more. For all your followers, I just want to say that even though you do what you do as a coach, do not address women directly, you do teach us what to do in dating and relationships instead of what our society conditioned us to do. Again, kind of like the video I was talking about, women who say they want to be chased with guys that I did with Erica and Jade. Erica especially, she didn't like that too much, but she's very masculine. We're working on her. Getting her to chill out, be a little more feminine, be a little more sweet, less trying to run everything. She says, I could not thank you enough for turning my life around. Well, you did the work, and thanks for sharing that great success story. So on to the next one. This one is from a guy. And so he says, Dear Corey Wayne, I was just listening to one of your newsletters and decided to write you a success story. I'm 23 years old and was someone who always fell in love with unavailable women. Yeah, that's loads of fun, isn't it? Who I thought were somewhat interested in me, which they obviously weren't. Who I was overweight, smoking, drinking a lot, and had no game or purpose whatsoever. So he was basically behaving like an incompetent man instead of a competent man who had his act together, who had goals, who had dreams, was taking care of himself, knew what he wanted, where he was going, and he expected to eventually accomplish it. Over the years of fucking up and getting my heart broke, I read 3% Man and just yesterday started my 16th read. I am now in my first relationship ever, and we are together for about a year, and I got everything I could have ever hoped for. By owning my essence and your material, I've attracted a hyper-feminine woman, loving, giving, sweet as it can get. Her attraction level is constantly at a 9 or a 10 because I know instinctively what to do and, more importantly, what not to do. She can't ever get her hands away from me. Remember the analogy of a suckerfish. They're always going to be on you. When they feel safe and comfortable and you're the rock and you're the mountain, they're always all over you. If you do, as a man, what's in the book, your girl is going to be wanting more sex with you than you want with her. That's reality. And that's the best place to be. A lot of dudes out there that are thirsty and struggling, and it just doesn't have to be that way. He says, I get as much sex as I want. She's always wet when I want to get it on. That's a credit to you, my man. You're doing the right things. For everyone thinking this stuff doesn't work, just do the damn work and read it 10 to 15 times. Yep, especially you rich and successful guys. Especially you arrogant, rich, and successful guys. I'm sure some of you are watching it right now going, I don't need to read the book. I'm worth $100 million, Corey. Just tell me what I need to do in a phone session. I don't have time to read a book. I'm very busy. It's like, it's going to be on you. You're going to suffer tremendously. He says, I went from obese, unhealthy, to exercising, working on my crafts, playing the guitar, and I'm owning the heart of a wonderful woman who always supports me and would do everything for me. It's just like you played through a game and finished it. Your relationship just becomes autopilot. He did the work. He learned the material. Unlike some people. Unlike slackers. He says, of course, I will continue watching and learning and try to never get complacent. That's the important thing. Try to get a little better each and every day. Our boy Tom Brady seems to be stumbling down. I heard a couple, so people have been asking me a lot, what do you think about Tom? What do you think? Because I reference him often over the years. What I noticed is the wife was always with him. The kids were always with him, supporting him. And I saw something the other day in a news article, two things that stuck out to me that Giselle said. She said he wasn't being present enough. And the other thing was she's talking about her purpose and how she's got all of these business and other things that she wants to do. So that tells me she's a little too inner masculine. And the reality is they got young kids. She should be focused on being a mom and submitting and helping Tom get his next ring. That's what she signed up for. He's the best to ever do it. And as a woman, no matter what, through the ups and downs, she should be supporting him until he absolutely doesn't want to play football anymore. And so if he changes his mind, says he's going to retire, and then changes his mind, that's what she signed up for. But the flip side, if he's not being present for her, for the kids, that means he's not spending the time. He's not dating and courting her properly. And number two, he's not making her feel heard and understood. And if you don't date and court your wife properly, eventually some other guy will. So what I've read, I don't know if it's true, but what I've read is that they both are talking to divorce lawyers to see what that would look like if they go through. So obviously, from what she said, Tom's probably not making her feel heard and understood, and he's probably not dating and courting her properly, and he's not present enough for the children. But that kind of lifestyle, you're going to be on the road a lot. I know Susie, he's got a contract lined up to be a broadcaster. So as soon as he finishes his NFL career, he's going to probably be, obviously he'll be on the road every weekend when there's games. He'll be a great commentator, obviously, and I look forward to that. But that kind of business, he's going to be on the road. And if you're going to be a family man, the family should be with you. And Giselle should be there supporting him. But also, he's got to make her feel heard and understood. Obviously, he's not, just based on her comment. And he's not present enough for her and the kids. So, but that requires them to work together. If he's on the road traveling for the team, she should be there. Maybe a couple days a week they fly in, maybe the weekends or whatever, but you got to do it. It's what she signed up for. A woman like that going talking about her purpose, making million. I mean, I think she's worth something like $150 million more than him. It's like, how many more millions do you need? Is that going to keep you warm? Would you rather be a dude making more money than spending time with your beautiful family and your amazing, successful husband and being his greatest cheerleader, his fan? So just on those two things that I saw in the news, I would say, based on what she said, he's not making her feel heard and understood. He's not dating or courting her properly. He's not present. In other words, when he's there, he may be physically there, but emotionally, mentally, he's somewhere else. So he needs to fix that. And I'd love to see them stay together. That would be cool. But, hey, that's life. And at the end of the day, she should be submitting and following her man, not talking about her business empires that she's going to build. Because she talks like a dude, and she's got enough money already. It's like, how much more do you need? Does it serve you? Does it serve the kids to leave? And then the family split up. It's like, hope they work it out. It'd be nice. But it is what it is. That's life. It's not easy. It's not easy being on top. And a lot of people want to see them fail just because they're both successful and they're both beautiful and rich. And unsuccessful people want to see them fail so they feel better. I want to see them succeed just because The world needs great, successful people that have the dream lives that the rest of us can aspire to. So if you got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.